Inflation, everything going up. But how does it affect you as a UK landlord? Well, check out this video for those answers. I'm going to ask you a question now, and this is come from Peter, who says, with the rise in inflation and likely interest rates, how does the panel feel about the impact on investing? What's your thoughts on that?
My goodness. Well, the media have gone a little bit crazy on this topic because, of course, there's no news, is there? And they're desperate to frighten everybody because COVID's sort of getting better. And so they're saying, oh, my goodness, interest rates are going to rise hugely. And of course, inflation's going up and it's likely to go up a little bit more. And so, yeah, it's common sense economics that interest rates may go up, but interest rates have been the lowest they've ever been, and they've stayed low for such a long time. So even if they double, triple, even get to 1%, heaven forbid, a base rate I'm talking about, that, you know, honestly, for us professional, educated investors, it's really not going to make any difference. And even if it did go higher, you know, you've just got to do the numbers. So you've got to go, right, okay, how much is my mortgage going to cost me? Do I go interest only? Do I go repayment? What's the rental look like? Now, rents have been ticking up anyway. So demand is not changing in terms of rents. It's going up, it's going up, and it's going up. So the economics of rental and the demand is such that I honestly don't think it's going to make any difference to the professional investors. To the amateurs out there that think, oh my goodness, I'm not going to make any money. Well, that's fine, because they're choosing not to get an education and get their knowledge. But for us, you know, yeah, definitely massive demand out there. So don't be put off. Don't believe what you read in the media, okay? Believe what you read in books like mine and what we say on this panel, because people are scaremongering and, you know, they're also trying to get business and do other things. So no, it's a great time to be investing.
Yeah, Paul.Hilliard, come on.
Yeah, I'd like to remind everyone of the well-known saying that we quote on a regular basis here, that the best time to invest was 20 years ago and the next best time is today. So get yourself educated, have a word with Bronwen, and yeah, get in there. The one thing I'd add about what Bronwen said was that I believe inflation is good for capital investing, as it's quicker to raise capital from your equity if it's raising quicker than because of the inflation rate. So, you know, you'll get no money left in your investment far quicker by a higher inflation rate than you will on a low inflation rate. So
that's because of your age, Paul. You've had properties long enough.
Oh, my back. I'll leave it at that.
Oh yes, I love it.
Well, the professor took his glasses off and he's put his glasses back on. So he's got an update, the professor over here.
Thank you, Simon. I was trying to find out a quote in The Economist, but I'll mention that in a minute. I see this question coming up a lot, and I like big picture. And these guys are the detail guys. I'm big picture. And I think there are 5 things that, even though I'm a solicitor and normally I'll say on the one hand it's this, on one hand the other, I think there are 5 things that are certain. Number 1, interest rates will rise. They are at historic low. It's never been as low as that. It's rarely been as low as that in living memory. And in living memory, it went up to 15%. So I think they are going to go up. That's number 1. However, equally, no one knows what they're going to go up. The Economist was writing on this very same thing a week ago. Yeah, and this is probably the most educated magazine in the world when it comes to economics. And it was talking about the British economy and that no one can really predict how interest rates are going to go. So, but they will go up at some stage. That's number 1. Secondly, as we're already talking tonight, we're talking about regulation. We're talking about environmental regulation, etc. The government are now, both sides, political parties are keen on big government. We are going to be looking at more regulations for investors. That is another certainty. Thirdly, I think there is going to be more taxation on investors because eventually all money we're spending in all directions and on COVID is going to have to be paid for. And investors and developers and buy-to-let landlords are seen as an easy target. So I think there will be more tax. Next one, will there be a crash? Yes, there will be. There always is. Economies go up and down. However, despite all of that, I think that the rental market is strong and will survive. However, you will have to be careful. And so I think one thing it does say is be very careful about deals that are marginal. I know in the previous recession, people sometimes over-leveraged, borrowed too much, thought they're going to make loads and loads of money. But perhaps the trick is to take back a little bit. Just make sure you've got a bit of safety margin. So if interest rates get up, you won't have a problem. Some will. Some people are overextending themselves, too many voids. So I think certain things are positive, but as long as you're careful and cautious, and as long as you plan, you'll survive. It's a good market. It's a strong market. It will continue to be so.